All right, let's dive into something that honestly can change just about every part of your life. We're talking about the psychology of emotional control. You've seen it, right? You're in some high stress situation, work, family, whatever, and everyone's losing their minds. But then there's that one person who's just steady. They're the calm eye of the storm. And you can't help but wonder, how on earth do they do that? What is their secret? So, let's start by trying to unravel that mystery. What is it that these calm people are doing so differently? What allows them to keep it together when everything is falling apart? I mean, think about it. You know the type. They don't shout. They don't just instantly fire back with some knee-jerk reaction. They actually listen. They think before they speak. It can feel like some kind of superpower, but here's the thing. It's not magic. It's a skill. And that's the perfect lead-in to our next big idea here. To really get this skill, we've got to redefine what we think it is. Because, let's be honest, most of us have it completely backwards. We have this myth in our heads, right? That emotional control means you're basically a robot. You're cold, you're distant, maybe you're even seen as weak because you're just bottling everything up. But the reality, it is the absolute opposite of that. It's about knowing your emotions, really understanding them, and then using that knowledge to choose how you respond. That's not weakness. That is a massive form of strength. So here's the most crucial part to understand. Emotional control is not about not feeling. Look, we all feel anger, joy, frustration. That's just being human. The skill is all about what happens in that tiny little space after you feel the emotion. Do you just let that feeling grab the steering wheel and drive? Or do you take control? It's all about making a conscious choice instead of having an automatic reaction. Okay, so how do we actually build this skill? Well, the good news is it's not something you're just born with. It's a discipline, and it's built on 4 key pillars. Let's break them down. These 4 are your foundation. You've got the pause, learning from experience, self-awareness, and focusing on the long term. You can think of these as the tools in your emotional toolkit. The pause is like your emergency brake. Learning from experience is looking back and thinking, okay, how could I have handled that better? Self-awareness is knowing why you feel a certain way. And focusing on the long term, that helps you see past the heat of the moment to what really matters. Let's talk about that pause for a second. This is, without a doubt, your most powerful tool. When you feel that surge of emotion, anger, panic, whatever, just stopping for a breath or two before you act is a complete game changer. It literally gives the logical part of your brain a chance to catch up with the emotional part. And that little moment can save you from saying or doing something you'll really regret later. And this right here really shows the power of self-awareness. It's the huge difference between blaming everyone else for how you feel and owning your emotions. That little shift from "you made me angry" to "I feel angry." Wow, that is a massive step. It puts the power right back in your hands because now you can ask yourself, okay, why do I feel this? What's really going on here? Now, this skill is obviously super powerful, but, and this is a big but, we need to be real about it. Like any tool, it has amazing strengths, but there are also some serious pitfalls if you misuse it. The upside is pretty clear, right? People who can manage their responses are seen as mature, as reliable, as trustworthy. They're better at navigating tough conversations and conflict, and they're way less likely to make rash decisions they have to apologize for later. These are the kinds of qualities that build great careers and strong relationships. But here is the critical warning label. This is not about suppression, just stuffing your feelings down and pretending they don't exist. That's not control. That's a pressure cooker waiting to explode. Those feelings don't just vanish, they build up. The real goal here is choosing the right time and the right way to express yourself, not to ignore your feelings forever. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important takeaway. The next time you see someone who's calm under pressure, I want you to see it for what it really is, not for what you think it is. This quote just nails it perfectly. That silence, that calm, that restraint, it's not a sign of emptiness. It's not because they don't care. It is a sign of deep, hard-won inner discipline. So let's just say it one more time. It's not about having no emotions, it's about mastering that space between feeling something and reacting to it, choosing your response in that moment. That is a skill, and that is real strength. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. As you go through your week, just think about it. What is one situation, maybe one conversation or one task, where you could consciously practice that simple, powerful pause? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.